It's the Extremist movie debate, and tonight we're talking 2018's Ready Player One.
I'm Joe.
I'm Ethan. One of us is going to love it. One of us is going to hate it.
Let the coin decide their fate.
I love it.
I hate it. Hey guys, don't hire an entire army of people to do your bidding. There are spoilers ahead to kill us. Spoilers ahead.
Perfect. And before we start, we would like to acknowledge that Joe has returned
From the dead.
I've always been here.
From the dead, and after a lengthy HR battle, we were obligated to rehire him.
I'm back.
This is why I hate unions. All right, so
Pay your dues.
this movie currently holds
Or
a
else you'll
70.
get enslaved in a little virtual reality tomb. Go!
This movie currently holds a 76% on Rotten Tomatoes, which makes it fresh. Joe, since you hate this movie, this first question comes to you.
Okay.
This comes from Diva Velez of thedivareview.com. Diva
It's an
says,
accredited website.
yes.
I've used them.
It's have you really?
Yep.
That is such a poorly made website. It's amazing. It looks like it came from 1996. Anyway, Diva says, fond memories and tributes to beloved pop culture characters elevates Ready Player One beyond its stunning visuals and submersive, fast-paced gaming action, which is a great on-screen and entertaining for any age. But it's the look back to happier, more innocent times that these icons represent that touches the heart, our hearts. So this movie is heavily built on, like the nostalgia factor, and we see how it works, like especially like now with things like Stranger Things coming out that are just a throwback to old 80 movies. Do you think there's a point where it goes from being just nostalgia to kind of being a crutch to invoke emotion and like heart to a movie? You have 45 seconds we're doing now?
Yes.
45 seconds to answer. Go.
I think that's the issue with Ready Player One is there's no heart to it. It's just nostalgia. So with Stranger Things, you have those homage and you have the throwbacks to like the 80s movies with like E.T. and Alien. And with Ready Player One, all you have are like trademarks. You just have the Iron Giant, you have Child's Play, you have Terminator 2 and The Shining, you have all these things that are supposed to evoke emotion because they have in the past, but this is just it's just a cheap shot of just putting these things that we can recognize so you can sit in the seat and go, oh, I know that, and it makes you feel smart, but all you're actually doing is you're just remembering things, and there's no actual like emotional core to this movie. It's just flashy, and it looks good, I guess, but that's all it's got, is it looks good and it has things you know.
Okay, thank you, Joe. Ethan, you have 30 seconds to respond.
One of the first lines of this movie is, this is what happened to the world when we stopped trying to fix our problems. And the whole movie takes all of this nostalgia and it moves past it and says we need to focus on friendships, our relationships, the world around us. This is what is actually more important. So what it is you have a character whose entire arc is, I use this whole program for escapism because the world sucks, coming around to, wait, we need to fix the world. We all need to work together to fix the world. So what we're going to do is save this world and then shut the fucker down for 2 days a week because we need to fix our world.
Thank you, Ethan, and I love the phrase "shut the fucker down." All right, and this next question comes to you. This is from Jackie K. Cooper of JackieKCooper.com. Oh boy, these websites. Jackie says, since most of the movie takes place in the world of virtual reality, it is required there be a collection of sights and sounds the VR world would have. This calls for some great CGI that awe those watching, but it doesn't mean that there is a heart to the film. In most of the sequences, there appears to be a hollow core. This is disappointing because Spielberg tends to go towards the heartwarming in his most successful movies. And then in parentheses, E.T. anyone?
Who gets it?
I looked up Steven Spielberg's top 3 grossing movies worldwide, and they are in this order: Jurassic Park, Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull,
Good.
and E.T. So how do you think Ready Player One actually holds up to having a real heart of the film compared to, these top 3 movies? Like, do you think it could possibly fit in that top 3 and maybe bump one of them out? You have 45 seconds.
I think that Jurassic Park is about playing God, and Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull is just a bad movie that people just watch because they like Indiana Jones, so those don't really count so much as E.T. counts, which is a movie entirely based on love and friendship. as opposed to entirely based on an alien invasion. So that is why this movie also works so well, is you have this grab, you have this hook of this virtual reality that is incredible, that everybody wants to escape into, that everybody does live inside for the most part. But it actually instead focuses on this is what the characters really want to do with their lives. They really want to meet each other in real life. They really want to actually have this existence outside of this world. And this is just the crutch that they have to rely on within this movie. Trying to move beyond that is the heart of this movie that the movie actually
All right, I
succeeds
got to
in
cut you off
focusing
there,
on.
Ethan. I'm sorry. Joe, you have 30 seconds to respond.
See, that's the thing. All of the emotion, like the emotional core to the movie is actually just tacked on because Spielberg knows what sells and what actually makes money. Spielberg is the master of money making, and he knows that's the reason. We have the first key is just this chase scene. We have it like 20 minutes focused on this chase scene, and that's all we got. And then we get like a minute. We have like a minute of Wade trying to talk to Samantha and profess his love when like he's maybe had 2 interactions with her before.
All right, Joe,
It's
you're
tacked
done.
on.
You guys have 2 minutes to discuss and go.
I think
It's
it's totally
he's
fair
hitting
that
the
these
beats.
people that
He's
exist
hitting
inside
the
this virtual
beats.
reality world that don't ever have face-to-face interactions with each other except to be abused and thrown into a wall by, the dude from Vivitch, that it makes sense for him to also fall in love with this girl that he met for 2 seconds and had a nice connection with.
No, it's just a formula, and you're buying into it.
I
Spielberg
never
is the king.
bought into their love.
Spielberg
and he doesn't either,
understands.
and she
Yeah, he
doesn't
does.
either.
He
That's
definitely
why.
does.
That's why
he
it
tells
works.
her. That's why he tells her his real name, because he actually does love her.
Because he's a doofus, and then
Because he's a
realizes
doofus,
that he's a
and he-
doofus, and she
No,
realizes
no.
it immediately.
She understands
and it's only
it because she's
near
not
the end
stupid.
of the movie. They're like,
but he does actually believe.
but
that
then
he
it
loves
becomes
her.
love, and then he
continues
does a
to talk about
callback.
how
That's
he
the
loves
end of the
her
first
the
act, and
entire
then by the
time.
end of the third act, he
He does
says,
not
"I
actually
found love,"
change.
and
This
at that
character-
point, we realize that is
Now, listen.
actually his love.
This guy never actually changed his character. He loves her at the very beginning before he even
He changed his
meets her.
character in that he
Before
goes
even
from,
meets her,
I
he
want
loves
this
her.
world as escapism. I want this world because my aunt and
And
the
he still
Vivitch
uses
guy
it.
live
He
inside
still
my trailer.
uses it as escapism.
And he does.
He's in charge
and
of
then
it.
all of a sudden,
Just
he decides, wait, I want to live inside this world
Just because he
the
doesn't want to
actual
monetize
world.
it like Ben Mendelsohn does,
That's
does not
not his
necessarily
arc.
make.
That's not his
that
arc
doesn't-
at all.
No, that's all it is. He wants it
What it
to
is,
stay the
he
same.
starts off
and
the
all he does
treasure
is
hunt
shut it
because
down
he
for
wants
2
the power.
days.
He wants
There's-
the power. He wants the money.
Wait, who
Great.
who wants the power?
That's what Percival wants.
No. He wants the money.
Yeah.
He doesn't give a shit about
Okay,
the power.
but then it
He wants the
becomes
money because this
in the
movie
final
equates-
test.
Hold on, Ethan,
wait, this
movie
entire thing
equates
exists
happiness
because this
to
person
money.
couldn't deal with the real world. Because this person couldn't deal with the real world to such an extent that their biggest regret in life
Yeah.
is not following through on their love, on their friend.
Halliday is an actually like intriguing, compelling
Halliday is
character.
amazing in this movie.
Why don't we see more of him? He's a goddamn
We see
hologram.
a fuckload of
Not
him.
a lot of him.
He is great in this
He's
movie.
barely-
in every
he's
scene,
barely
Mark
in this
Rylance
movie.
deserves an Oscar for this movie.
Mark Rylance did great, but that's
Yeah.
the thing. That's a much more intriguing character. So
And
why
then,
do we see?
in the
Why are we
end,
with Parzival?
Parzival comes to terms with everything that Rylance stands for.
And
And that's time, gentlemen. God, I miss this yelling. How do you guys really feel?
I like this movie a lot.
I really enjoyed it. I didn't think I would.
Oh, big surprise! Goddamn.
That's fair.
I really enjoyed this movie. Spielberg knows how to make a popcorn movie. And like our superfan Michael said, Spielberg came out and said, this is not a film, this is a movie. And like, that's what I love about Spielberg, is he knows what he's making generally. And this movie like is not gonna, like, it's not elevating anything. He made a movie for the, like, so an audience could enjoy it. They're going to this movie for a popcorn flick, and like that's pretty much all it is. And the visuals great, and like the nostalgia great. The emotional core to this movie not that great, but that's okay because that's not necessarily what this movie is for. And I was thinking about it while I was watching it. There's a little kid watching this movie right now.
Yep.
Who is, because of this movie, they are falling in love. It's like when I watched Independence Day. I fell in. Honestly, though,
I get it. I was thinking of this as his new hook, but
that's
yeah,
the movie
all right.
that, like, that movie made me fall in love with movies and made me want, like, become obsessed with movie, and like I dove into it because of that movie. And Ready Player One is some kid's Independence Day right now.
I was thinking he was doing another hook, which is, to say like this is a movie that's pretty shallow and not amazing.
Yeah, but Hook is trash.
It's gonna mean a shitload to an entire generation, and this is potentially that.
Agreed.
Cool. Well, what would you guys rate the movie?
For what this movie is, I'd give it an 8 out of 10. No thunder. 0.
I'll give it a 7. No thunder. But it's enjoyable. I would have to watch it again.
The fucking Shining sequence
Was
in
wonderful.
itself.
Was very good.
Well, that's what, like, everybody's talking about, like, how generic of a book this is. I would say bad, but I don't want to yuck anybody else's yum. So it's a pretty generic book. I actually read the whole thing. I'm like,
100 pages. I quit.
so
Tapped
the
out.
book is enjoyable enough, but the movie's different. So they've changed it. The movie is better than the book. There's a voiceover at the beginning, which I was just like, eh.
Which is the whole part that I hated in the book.
Yeah.
But in this movie, it's 5 minutes long. So,
And it catches everybody up.
yep.
Okay, well,
We're on YouTube. Thanks.
yeah.
That's it now?
Yeah,
I wish. Instagram,
you guys.
Facebook,
we canceled
Twitter.
all of those. We're not on any social media.
emt.panspending.com. That's where you can find everything.
Artificialwood.panspending.com. Welcome back, Joe. Love you guys. Thank you. Good night.
Bye.
Say bye, Joe.